So in this video, we're going to be looking at another toy that we have, which is a two-stroke bike kit that we got off eBay and put it in a bicycle. They say this is an 80cc two-stroke, but it's really like a 66. But it has plenty of power for something like this. I put this light here, so if we're riding at night, you can easily just, have some light. You zoom in and zoom out. You got your kill switch, you got your throttle, you got your rear brake, your rear shifting mechanism thing, you got your front shifting mechanism thing, you got your front brake, and this little pin right here in the clutch, so you can push that in and just have the clutch permanently disengaged. And if you want to start, just pop the clutch and the engine's going to want to turn over and you can just start off. The fuel tank on here probably holds, I don't know, maybe a little less than a gallon or something. We mixed this fuel about 16 to 1, so it's pretty rich. It's supposed to be like 10 to 1 in the break-in, but we broke in the NRA, so we're running at 16 to 1, which is kind of insane. Got our fuel cut off here. I had to redo this fuel line because the old one was made out of some, brittle crap that time fuel hits, it wants to shrink up, and it was just barely holding on to the fuel filter. And I was driving it down the road and the fuel just came off all over the motor and everything. I was like, what was that? And it's all leaking around, a bit of yelling, screaming. I kind of had it back on. So I put this heavy duty fuel line on here that my dad gave me. Put a zip top here to hold the fuel filter up, and it goes down into the carburetor. It's pretty thick, but I managed to retrofit it on here somehow. The choke, you're wondering. Yeah, I had to put this on here because it's the most ironic thing. You're riding down the road and the choke just wants to go up somehow. I don't know why. So I put this thing on here so, the choke will actually stay in the run position. And you got your standard mountain bike pedal gears and all that. This never did anything to it. The kit comes with everything because you got the chain, you got the sprocket, you got the bolts, hardware and all that. You got a chain cover, you get the engine, obviously, the tank, the clutch, kill switch, throttle. Pretty much everything you need in order to get this thing running. Another tip is I learned off a Project Farms YouTube video about this bike kit is that if you get like a PVC pipe, you cut it in half, you put it on this and you put the tank on top of it. I'll keep these cables from, binding. This seat is like concrete, so, your butt's about numb by the time you get off this thing. You can ride it like a normal bicycle. Like, you don't have to have the engine running. You can just ride it normally, so if you're just riding around like, let's say, a campground or, somewhere they don't like noise or whatever, you can just ride normally. And, if one of the dogs comes after you wanting to rip your face off, quickly just pop the clutch and take off. Also, with these bike kits, you can get a 4-stroke version of it. The 4-stroke, it's a lot bigger, a lot bulkier. And, it's a centrifugal clutch, which, me personally, I like manual clutch. It's more fun driving like that. And plus you can get neutral and rev it up. The 4-stroke probably runs a lot cleaner, probably a lot easier to run, a lot easier to start, all that kind of stuff. But the 2-stroke is smaller, has a lot more power. I never had the 4-stroke, so I don't really know. Alright, so I had a little accident. See where the tire started skidding and stuff. But, no big deal. You know, probably should have been wearing a helmet and stuff, but, you know, a bit stupid I didn't do that. So, yeah, I probably recommend you guys wear a helmet while you ride this kind of stuff. You know, I'm just doing it for the video. Sorry I didn't get it on camera, but you probably would have been laughing. But, you know. But what I was doing was I was trying to slow down and trying to hit the brake, and I think one of the tires locked up and I spun out. I wasn't really going that fast, but, you know, seriously, you gotta be careful when you're riding these things. I mean, you can crash, you can break something. You know, luckily I was all right. And honestly, y'all, running it without that, you know, super restrictive thing in it, yes, it is a lot more louder and it sounds a lot better in my opinion. You know, it does have actually a lot more power. You know, when you let the clutch out, it actually goes like really good. So, you know, I wouldn't really be riding this around your neighborhood because, you know, where I live, neighbors gonna get upset. So, hope you liked this video. If you did, click all the buttons on YouTube say to click. Haters, that includes you. Click on the thumbs down button twice. Thanks so much for watching.